Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Broker Link podcast as we wrap up the 2020 season here at the Brokerage Inc. It's been quite a ride. This is our first year starting a podcast, and we were really excited to talk about some of our favorite episodes, the things that we've learned, and give you a little sneak peek as to what's coming. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Broker Link podcast, where agents go to grow their insurance business.
Well, Chris, here we are.
Wow, what a year.
We made it to the end of 2020.
It has been a year that so many of us will never forget.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I think it's a business year that made some massive transitions for every business out there. I don't think there's one business that can say they didn't change their philosophy or their mission or something in 2020.
I totally agree. And, we say those annoying phrases like, oh, the new normal and that stuff that drives us nuts.
Right.
Things will return to some normalcy, but I do think that as life goes, there will be things that stay the same, that we've changed probably in a positive way.
I agree. I think the world is now getting used to digital, and I think the world is going to use digital so much more than ever. And I don't think even when we do get back to our normal place, I think digital will still be a big, big part of everyone's business model.
Yeah, and to all you local insurance listeners out there, things are going digital, but what that also means is it's opportunity for you because a lot of people are getting into digital, but they're not doing it well.
Right.
They're annoying. And so that's going to create a hunger, I think, really more of a renaissance of the local relationship presence. I really do see that where, you can go too far to the other side of everything's just transactional. People, we crave community. We crave relationship. And so that's not what this episode's about, but I will encourage you. I think we'll get into it in the next year. How do we start to live in this world of hybrid?
Right.
Having that presence, but then standing out in your local community.
Well, I do think, too, that this year stressed that you need to have diversity in your marketing plan. Mm-hmm. And I think that will still continue because people are going to want to be face-to-face,
Yep.
But they need to have an element of digital in everything they do.
That's right.
So I think this just really diversified everything every business will do from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're a listener of this podcast, you're very well aware. That's why you're listening. You're
Right.
always trying to grow.
Right.
You're always trying to build your business. That's why you listen to stuff like this.
Right.
So we try to put it in front of you just to encourage you and inspire you. And so why did we do this? Let's start with that. Well, about this time last year, we had finished our whole rebranding here at the brokerage, which is insane to think that was a year ago now.
It's
Seems like
crazy.
yesterday. Also thanks to 2020, the year that was eternal yet so quick at the same time. We took our brand from, I would say, a healthy, well-known reputation. I'm super blessed to have joined a company that I didn't have to reinvent their reputation. That was already existing. All I did was take what they were already doing and how they were already being successful and just try to enhance it. And so this was part of that whole mission, was we got this new brand. We started working on our search engine optimization, some of our advertising, and I felt this need. There needs to be sort of an insider voice into the brokerage that agents can tune into. Not only has it been a source of encouragement for our agents, it's been a great source of knowledge for us here at the brokerage. And I was talking to some of our executives about this last week. by putting out so many different topics. I know Chris has a long list, and we're just gonna go through some of the highlights here in a sec. We've just talked about everything under the sun related to insurance. It's been really cool to see what you all listen to the most, what you comment that you're getting the most out of, because that helps us to better serve you, not just as a podcast, but as an FMO, as an upline, as an insurance agency. So we've really enjoyed that, and it's helped us to prepare for 2021, going in really strong. And so I am just thrilled. I'm so proud of what we have been able to accomplish in just 1 year, especially such a crazy year, a time of instability for so many. And our hearts truly do go out to those who, during this time, they've had a major life disruption.
Right.
They've lost a job. They've had to change industries. But with disruption, I will say always, at least right now in our current world, there's opportunity. Opportunity still abounds. And we hope that if you're one of our agents, that you can see that we can help you with that here at the brokerage. And if you're one of those agents that's just a listener out there and you've checked us out, but you haven't come on board, maybe 2021 is the year where you say, I've been listening to you guys for quite a while, and I'm attracted to the energy. I'm attracted to the mission. And if that's you, then we would love to talk to you about coming on board so you can kind of join the family. And that's really something we're going to be hitting on a lot in 2021, joining the family. It started with the Hopkin family, but it's really, really grown into a really awesome, diverse, widespread national family of brokers that are just making each other better.
Yeah, and I think when we started this podcast, we really wanted to start the conversation and open up a dialogue with all of our agents who were looking for a place to go to learn about a new product or to be introduced to an agent who was very successful and how they did it, and even teach you something that you didn't know, and meet our terrific staff that is, I think, the best in the business. They know so much about this business that I wouldn't go anywhere else but to the brokerage to get what I needed.
For sure. And I mean, genuinely mean that.
Yes, genuinely. And you can't be in the business for 40 years and not know something about it, and not, move with the times, make the changes that come in this business. And so it was really nice to see all of our brokerage family step up in this podcast over the year and give us the great knowledge and information that they know. So that was fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing to add to that would just be there's a lot of hype in this industry. And, I joined this industry a couple years ago now. And so I'm still, I don't care if people call me a rookie. It's fine. It's fair. It's fair. That should make me humble and willing to always be a learner, which makes us all better when we have that attitude. But I will say that one thing I've observed is this industry is full of a lot of hype, a lot of people trying to sell you the idea of success. The brokerage, what I've seen, is truly real success.
Right.
Not just with the agency itself, but all of the agencies and agents that are part of the brokerage. There's something really special going on here. And we're excited. We're so excited. I don't want to get too into it because I know we want to go over some of our previous topics, but you're going to get to hear a lot more of those success stories this year.
Right.
A lot more of them.
Right.
And we hope it inspires you. But Chris, why don't we just walk through some of the highlights?
Sure. I mean, we did start our season 1 at the end of last year for the simple reason that we wanted to kind of get it out there and see what everyone thought. And we had such tremendous support, even from the start. So we had a wonderful season, 48 episodes. This will be our 48th episode for 2020. Now we'll take a break for the end of the year, but we will be back strong in January. But what I think we saw over the course of 48 episodes is that we were able to introduce you to some amazing new products like Sidecar Health, Oscar Health, ICRA, things like that we had the most response to because everyone wanted to learn firsthand what these products were all about.
Yeah. So, a lot of our listeners are, let's say they sell products that are like in our core offerings, Medicare, Medicare Advantage, supplements, Affordable Care Act plans, maybe life insurance. But we found that you all were really intrigued when we talked about Sidecar. That health plan is something where you essentially get a visa, and it's more of an indemnity plan, but it's a really cool alternative to like modern day health insurance. We learned about Oscar Health, which has gotten into the ACA and Medicare space, and talk about technology, digital. That's like their foundation.
Exactly.
Really interesting stuff from Oscar Health. And then ICRA, we talked with Take Command Health, which is a partner of ours now where, some of these smaller businesses that can't necessarily afford big group plans, they can do what's called an individual coverage health reimbursement arrangement. I think that's what it was called. I guess I listened.
Yes.
Where the employer just gives you a set amount of money each month as part of your benefit package that you can then go to the marketplace and get your own health insurance that's best fit for you. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, really cool stuff. And I'd encourage you to go back and listen to those podcast episodes if you haven't already listened to them, because we do really go deep into how all of this started with each of these companies and their mission and their motivation. So that was really fun to listen to. The other thing we're really blessed with here at the brokerage is that our president, Mike Smith, is a big part of NAHU. And NAHU is, kind of like the brainchild of what's going on in Washington. And we spoke with the CEO. We spoke with the VP of Congressional Affairs to get updates. This was a very political year, and we saw how it played out through NAHU, which is the National Association
Health Underwriters.
Thank you. And so I think that was a really big part of 2020, and we were really blessed and lucky to have them.
Yeah, that's pretty special, y'all, that not only is this podcast, we're keeping it humble. I mean, it's not like this is some huge following yet. We just started off to see if there'd be an interest, but we have had close to 2,000 downloads already.
Right.
And it's pretty cool that we have these special guests like NAHU coming in and giving us information, like insider info that's happening right there in Congress.
Right. I mean, firsthand information. And because Mike, our president, Mike Smith, he is at all of these events, even if it's a virtual event, which it was this year, he is updated on everything that's going on in Washington. And we have him in our office every day, telling us the updates, which is really exciting. So that was a really big bonus for us this year. Another area that did extremely well with our listeners was introducing you to agents and agency partners who have had tremendous success in this business. I think you really enjoyed listening to their path to success.
Yeah, specifically, just to call out a couple of those that inspired me. One of our agency partners, Albert, he talked about how he was a school teacher, which nothing wrong with it. We got to have
It's
them.
great profession.
So I don't want to misrepresent, that. But it was really inspiring. He said that, he's making $38K, just kind of struggling along, teacher pay. It is what it is.
Right.
And a friend introduced him to the insurance industry. He starts selling on the side, like a few hours a week, and he was already making more from that side gig than he was making from his main job. Within a couple of years, he's making six figures, And here we are today. He has got a ton of downline agents, and they really own the market down where they're located. And he is a giver. That's what I
Right.
love about these successful people. He's like, because of what I've been given, it's my duty to give to others. And he has these scholarship funds and these charities that he helps with. It's like, yes, that's the point. That's the
Right.
point. Another really inspiring was we had Sonny Gurney in here. He talked about getting into the industry and then how he was sort of taken advantage of, which I know a lot of our listeners have
Yeah.
experienced that before.
Sadly, yes.
It's just part of the reputation of this industry, sadly.
Right.
That's what I was talking about earlier when I said there's a lot of hype, and we just really do not want to be that. We want to be the complete opposite of that. So it was really cool to hear how he goes from one situation into another agency, and then he discovers this kind of hybrid path, which is this FMO structure. And so he set out there in his location, I'm going to grow an agency. I'm going to do this. He partners with the brokerage after shopping for FMO, from FMO, having tons of conversations, taking a risk because at that time, we were more, he's more up in the north. We're located down in the south. Absolutely loves working with the brokerage. In the last couple of years, I want to say, I don't want to misrepresent the facts, but I would say, I think he started with a few agents and now he's getting up there in the 80s to 100. That's his
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty inspiring. So
Yeah.
if you're somebody that's trying to grow an agency, definitely listen to those podcasts.
Yeah, because I think when you hear someone else's success story and how they did it, it does encourage you and it makes you think outside the box, maybe a little differently. I know we had Gary Walker in here as well.
That's right.
And Gary talked about, his radio advertising and how that made a huge difference in the market he was in. And so it's nice to kind of get those ideas from other success stories. And we're so lucky to have them share their stories.
Yeah, Gary, bringing that one up. That's a great one to bring up. He's somebody that was a pastor. He was a minister for years. That was his career. And he just came to a point in his life, as we all do, where he realized it was time to make a change. He was wanting to make a transition in his life. And he gets into this insurance space, helping people with Medicare, hooks up with Joel and Rod in the life department, and they start telling him about final expense. And Gary was a great example of someone who starts to build that book of business and starts to cross-sell and literally doubled his income.
Right.
An already great income.
Right.
Doubled it. Not only did he double his income, he was a top producer for Mutual of Omaha, and then they sent him on a 2-week trip.
I know, and he had another trip coming up, but he
Yeah.
didn't get to take it because of COVID.
Like, these are the people that we work with here.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm saying. A lot of, and not to hate on any competitors or anything, but, a lot of folks focus so much on what they have, what they can do. We want to inspire you with what our agents are doing.
Exactly. Because our agents are everything to us, and it's really wonderful to see them use the tools that we share with them to grow their business.
Yep.
And
That's what we're here. That is
right.
literally what we're here for.
Exactly. That's the definition of the Brokerage Inc.
Yep.
So that was really fun. Because of COVID, we did talk a lot about digital branding this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Between email marketing, social media marketing, website development,
Yep.
those are a lot of things that we kind of pivoted to because of COVID, and we knew that was really important to our agents.
Yep. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Chris and I, that's more our geek
Yes.
area of expertise.
That's our background.
And we understood, and once again, all this, like we said, this podcast has been a great way of seeing what do you guys want to hear? And we'll be honest, those podcasts were not the most popular.
No, but I feel like we're making a breakthrough
Yeah.
to really just shine the light on having that as just a small part of your business. It doesn't have to be your whole business, but it will be important to have in your business in 2021, especially with things really not changing up that much right now in the world, and that we need to have a digital presence, whether it's just a website, a simple one-page website, or it's digital ads or something on social media.
Yep.
You have to have some presence.
Yep.
When somebody Googles your name, they need to find something.
Yep.
And so we've always tried to encourage our agents to do something out there so that people can find them. When you can't hold a big group event, you can't meet someone at a coffee shop, you need to reach them somewhere.
Yep.
And digital is right now the place that everybody's having their meetings.
Absolutely. And we know that things will eventually get back to normal. And in Texas, they really kind of already have. We know if you're listening from, especially some places more in the west or up in the north, you're still kind of locked down a little bit.
It's a struggle right now.
And we really feel for that,
Mm-hmm.
especially in this business, which is such a relationship business. But really, I hope the insights that you got from those topics was, if we got into the weeds a little bit, I think what we've said is we're going to kind of get back into those topics a little bit here and there in 2021, but do our best to make it even more practical. Just get to exactly what you can do, offer some more tutorials of how to do it. But we really do hope that encouraged you as well.
Exactly. Another area that we jumped into, we really took a deep dive into all areas of this business: Medicare, ACA, life, and final expense. I think our Medicare team is the best in the business here. And it's led by Josh Slattery, who knows everything and anything under the sun about it. And he has a team here at the brokerage that can talk to anything. And we did a real good deep dive into getting into Medicare, what you need to sell Medicare, the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. We talked about everything that has to do with Medicare to start, and a lot of you responded.
Yep, for sure. And same with our other departments. The ACA team, hearing from Belinda on why you should get into ACA, how for a lot of you guys, there's been this thought in the past that, it's complicated, it's just a bunch of extra work. And maybe we brought some light to the subject that, no, this is a very natural cross-sell into your book of business. I remember Mike saying it takes about 1 hour to get certified.
Yeah.
You got an hour. And also we talked about opportunities where, like, let's say you're not in that space and you're still not interested. We have a referral program here.
Right.
You can refer your clients, and if we sell the policy, you can make $25. Maybe that's more the right fit for you.
Right.
I can't tell you what's the right fit for you, but you may not have known about those possibilities here at the brokerage. Same with our life team. You were introduced to some of our great team members here, and we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming in 2021 for the life team. Not going to get into that just yet, but we do have a new team member, and we're really, really excited for the growth in the life team.
Yeah, he's going to shake it up, I think, here at the
Yeah.
brokerage.
It's going to be cool.
It is exciting. And I think if anything this year, again, taught us that you need to diversify. And if that means you learn a little bit about the ACA and about life and final expense, so you could possibly cross-sell your clients already that you have in your book of business. And you could, like Gillen said, there's a referral program. So you can refer them to somebody else, and then you make a small commission on that. So there are definitely ways that you can grow your business by just looking at some other products.
Absolutely. This has been really fun to talk about.
I know, it's
what
kind of
all we've
like
done
a
this year.
walk down memory lane for 2020.
It really has been cool.
Despite it being such a hard year for so many people, we found that we were able to share what we knew and what we know and what we're learning as we go along. And that was really satisfying for us.
For sure. Certainly want to give a shout out to the leadership here at the brokerage for supporting this initiative.
Exactly.
Because when we brought up the idea a year ago, the answer was, what do you need from us?
Exactly. They never questioned it.
No, what do you need from us?
Right.
That's pretty awesome. And
It
that's
is.
something to be grateful for.
It is.
So big props to them and their leadership there. Chris, let's talk for just a sec. Let's get them excited
Yeah.
for 2021.
Speaking of leadership,
Yeah. We're talking about our leadership, and there is a silent leader here at the brokerage that keeps this thing going day after day. You don't see her very often. She really works behind the scenes. But I'll give you a hint. The first mini-series, I'll call it, of our podcast in 2021 is going to be called From an Apartment to a National Insurance Agency.
Right.
And many of you, you've been exposed to Josh. You've been exposed to Mike. You've been exposed to Ethan, and so many others. But you may not really know the lady who started this with her husband 40 years ago.
Exactly. Cheryl Hopkin is a force, and she is here every day. She doesn't miss a day in the office, and she is amazing. And so we're excited to go back in time and see how this all started.
Yeah, we're talking about this is going to be the year. If I was going to give this year a theme, it's going to be called inspiration.
Yep.
We want to just inspire. Week after week, give you something that you can take and apply. And I think it's going to be I'm serious. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to learn a lot that we don't know about, we're thinking we're going to break it into 10 years at a time because there's a lot of stuff to cover. So it'll probably be around 4 episodes.
Yeah.
How did you start? Whose idea was it?
Yeah.
Where did Ross get this idea?
Ross.
What was the
vision?
What was the vision? How did this happen? Because things don't just happen. There was a plan in place. How did you stick with it? How did you pay your bills? How did you bring people to the team? How did you get people to trust you?
Right.
How did you pivot through all of the changes in the last 40 years? I mean, we've had a lot of laws change and policies and what?
Yeah, it's going to be really a great listen to her story and Ross's story and the brokerage story and how it is continuing to go strong after 40 years.
For sure. Stronger and stronger.
Stronger and stronger.
So be looking for that. So also we know the first quarter is the Medicare OEP. So we're going to kick it off strong, telling you how to be successful. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about just the career in insurance. We're going to get more into final expense. We're going to talk about Insure Your Love Month, getting into Medicare and ACA and life insurance strategies, all of it for that month. How to double your income with cross-selling. Succession planning. If you're thinking about retiring or passing down your business, how do you do it? We're going to talk about going from a side hustle to a full-time insurance business. You're going to hear from agents who started in another career and slowly made that transition.
I am super excited about meeting new agents and hearing their stories. I think that's going to be a big part of our 2021.
For sure. You're going to get practical social media marketing ideas. And like I said, we're probably going to stay out of the weeds a little bit this time around and give you more and more practical stuff you can use. We're going to hear about building an agency from the ground up. How do you do it? How have others done it? We're going to talk about some cross-sells like hospital indemnity. How do you add it to your portfolio? Not just what is it, really, how do I add that to my portfolio? How can that make me more money? How can that keep my clients on the books? We're going to feature women in the insurance industry. I know we're really, really excited to hear some very successful women leaders who have started in this industry, made it their own, grown agencies, grown huge books of business, and we want to hear their story. We're going to be talking about becoming known in your local market, how to stand out. We're going to be talking about branding. We're going to be talking about going from corporate to independent agent. We have agents that have come from all backgrounds, climbing the corporate ladder, and they made the decision to come to this independent route. Why'd they do it? How did they do it? We're going to talk about short-term major medical. That's other health insurance outside of ACA that you can check out. We're going to talk about agents that went from captive to independent. What did that look like? Why did they do it? How has it affected their income? Am I wearing you out yet?
That's a lot.
We're going to talk about
information.
getting started in Medicare sales. We're going to talk about technology, CRM. Lots in store.
I think everybody's getting excited. But you know what the best thing they can do to get ready for the 2021 season?
What's up?
They need to subscribe to this podcast.
Yep.
Because that's the only way to know when all these new episodes are coming.
That's right.
So do us a favor. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify or wherever you're listening, subscribe to this podcast. So that way, when we do come back in January, you will be ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you are pumped for what's to come. It has been a ride. Wow, 2020. And, you know, if you're listening to this is going to come out last week of November. Finish strong. You can do it. You can do it. We've almost made it. It's the season of thanks, and then we enter the season of giving. And if you've been blessed this year, there's a lot of people that could use your generosity. It's so good to give when you've been given to, when you've been blessed. And I think that's what we all need, a little dose of this holiday season. Let's all find a way to give to those in need. And in this year, well.
Yes.
Really.
Because we're cheering you on. We know that it's been a rough one, but we feel like light is at the end of the tunnel, and 2021 is going to change things up for us, and very excited about the new year.
Absolutely. As you are looking to grow your business, build your strategy for the next year, remember you can go to thebrokeraginc.com. That's where the archive of all of our podcasts can be found, our blogs, everything that we have going on. You know, make sure that you're getting our emails. If you're somebody that's like, yeah, I listen to y'all's stuff, but I don't hardly get your emails. Well, you may notice that those are going to your promotions tab. Like if you have a Gmail, make sure you drag that over to your primary inbox so you start to get those. That's just something that's happening to all brands these days because now everything's digital. So it's the inboxes are getting cluttered. So I would encourage you to do that. And as Chris said, subscribe to the podcast. And as we get ready to launch our January series, we will make sure to put it all over social media. We'll put it on the website. We're so excited. We're so excited to take you on the journey. And we're thankful that you are a listener.
Yeah, thank you, and have a wonderful holiday season, a wonderful and prosperous new year, and we cannot wait to see you again in 2021.
You've been listening to the Broker Link podcast, hosted by The Brokerage Inc. Join us again next week with new information about growing your business.